You know, I sort of regret taking off for the New Year's weekend. I sort of do. I didn't really do anything for Christmas. It was actually, Christmas was fine. Like, it could have been worse. Christmas Eve was particularly bad. I've been lucky to have good Christmas Eves throughout my life. This was not particularly an eventful one at all. I stayed at home. But it wasn't, like, bad, per se. It was just boring, and to me, that's bad. So I've been very lucky to have really good Christmas Eves all throughout my life. And then Christmas Day was just a day. It was fine. I saw my dad and my uncle, hung out with my grandma all day. That was good. And then New Year's, New Year's Eve, did the same thing. And honestly, I had a better time New Year's Eve than I did Christmas. I think it's because it's today. I think it's because it's Christmas that my day was kind of sad-ish. You know what I mean? Something I got to work on. Something I still have to work on. But hey, welcome. You don't want to hear personal stuff with me, even though this is on my own with Keith. Hello, welcome. You want to hear video game talk, and that's what I'm here to do. Talk about video games. And we took a week off because, like I said, I just wanted to not do anything for the new year for this show. But we are back. It is Sunday. It is literally Sunday. You're getting one of those freshest fresh can be episodes. So working on this now, and then later on today, this will go up on a Sunday. So welcome. Thank you for joining me here in 2026. If I sound kind of like more mellow or whatnot, still have to wait to take some of my ADHD meds. I work later tonight, and I'm doing this so early that I've kind of chill right now. I'm more chill, but I could also like lose focus easily. So I'm doing this now so I can get it out of the way. We get things going, and then I can work on other stuff to where I can hopefully focus more and go from there. So what 2 weeks since we've last been on here. I got a couple things I definitely want to talk about. One seems to be like huge, and it's relatively recent, as in it happened within the last week. Got lucky, I guess, in the week that I took off, not a lot happened, but it's like as soon as that Sunday ended, it's like all hell broke loose. And in particular, that weekend in general was whenever it was starting. I already decided not to make an episode. And this first one in particular happened last weekend. So let's go ahead and get into it. Apparently, there was a huge hack of Ubisoft servers and games, in particular Rainbow Six Siege. And then Ubisoft was reported on this, had to, because it was people hacking into their stuff, but were very passé with it, to say the least. They didn't really make it seem like a big deal, and from what I've seen and heard, sounds bigger than what they're making it. In fact, some outlets are reporting it as not as big of a deal as what it is. So, let's talk about this Engadget article about it real quick. Engadget's article is Rainbow Six Siege servers are back online after shutting down in response to marketplace hacks. It's from Jackson Chin. I want to go over that in just a second because I'm looking at the server status now, and oh yeah, we'll talk about back online here in just a second. So apparently, as of Sunday, December 28th, the status page for Rainbow Six Siege's website is still showing – unplanned outages on all services. It's, done testing throughout, and is trying to get everything back on going good. And the marketplace, though, is still remaining closed. So what happened exactly? What happened to cause all this? Well, apparently some hackers got on, took control over Rainbow Six Siege, and were giving out billions in their credit. I guess it's called R6 credit. Rare skins, rare skins. And unbanning and banning accounts. I'll talk about another article that actually talks about that one a little bit more. There's one in particular that I started doing that I find really hilarious. Ubisoft said that there will be no excuse me. Ubisoft said that there will be no banning of people that use those sudden credits that were added to their account, but they will be rolling them back. Which is fine, you know. You didn't purchase those. You were given it to by random hackers. So it makes sense that they're just going to take it back away from you. It sucks because it wasn't your fault that they got hacked. It wasn't your fault that the funds were put into your account. But, I mean, I don't know what else they would do. That'd be a huge loss of money for them. And Ubisoft, there's one thing we all know is Ubisoft loves their money. So I guess I understand that. Ubisoft, this is a quote from the article. Ubisoft later clarified Saturday afternoon on X that nobody would be banned if they spent their credits, but the rollback was going to be starting that Saturday, effective 6 a.m. So it should be all good now. Eurogamer has a little bit more info on this. Hackers had been banning dozens of fake accounts. And this is a quote from the Eurogamer article, which, by the way, before I get to the quote, the Eurogamer article is called Rainbow Six Siege Still Struggling After Ubisoft Was Forced to Briefly, quote-unquote, intentionally shut it down following third-party hack, by Vicky Blake, a contributor. So this in her article says hackers then banned dozens of fake accounts so that the usernames displayed the lyrics of Michael Jackson's Billie Jean on screen. I mean, sounds more like a troll than anything this does. That's pretty funny, actually. The hackers gave out billions. I said 2 billion to each player, to each and all players. 2 billion credits. That's crazy. Unlocking every premium skin for all players without charge. That's nuts. So when I said that Ubisoft, it felt like they were kind of passé on this, kind of not making this a big deal. They tweeted, "We're aware of an incident currently affecting Rainbow Six Siege. Our teams are working on a resolution. We will share further updates once available." That just seems very like, oh, this isn't a huge issue. But like, you had people giving everybody in the game 2 billion credits and unlocking every skin in the game. Am I crazy thinking that sounds like a bigger deal than what you're making it out to be? Then they go on saying that the marketplace and Siege have been taken down. They turned off the ban ticker, I guess, because they don't like Billie Jean. Nobody will be banned. As of the 28th, they posted one more tweet about it saying, "Our initial tests have concluded and we are now conducting a soft launch, opening the game to a small number of players only while we complete live tests." More information on the rollback and full live relaunch to come. So as of me recording this, it is January 4th. So I was curious as to see what the servers were like today, because that was, excuse me, that would be that would be a week ago that they said the soft launch happened. Service status as of January 4th, 2026, still not good. Still not good. Everything from PC to both PlayStations to all Xboxes are having connectivity issues, outages, degraded connectivity. Authentication, in-game store, and matchmaking are just completely out. And the connectivity for all these versions are just limited. It's degraded. Yeah, not that big of a deal, apparently, for that first tweet. That a week later, and there still seems to be issues. This is live. This is a week later. This is what I'm looking at right now. I'm watching the countdown go down. It was just updated today, like a minute ago. This isn't good. At least for them, this isn't good. It doesn't sound like it. And I also heard rumors, rumor as in I watched another Young Yeah video, which there you go. Shout out to Young Yeah once again on YouTube. That he was talking about how these hackers were actually more trying to get inside and get the blueprints or some kind of structure of Ubisoft games or something. I don't know. You gotta watch this video to get info like that, because these articles were not bringing that up. Eurogamer one does talk about it more further detail, and even shows the status website, which is where I went today and found that it's still not looking good. But it's a lot more serious than what Ubisoft makes it seem like it is. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just as simple as they just wanted to troll and give everyone a bunch of money, but even still, doesn't that hurt the economy for them? I mean, obviously it does. They had to roll everything back. But if they did all that, why wouldn't they also try to get in the back door and do some more things to spite Ubisoft? I mean, it doesn't sound good, as I said previously. And I hate it for the people that have worked on this game. I really do. I hate it. I hate it for the people that have put years and years into this. I do feel sympathy for them. But when it comes to Ubisoft themselves, the heads, the shareholders of their place, the people that are spokespeople for it, that make stupid comments like people shouldn't, or people should be expecting to not own their games. When you have people like that from Ubisoft, and something like this happens, I have no sympathy for them. I have sympathy for the people that developed this game, that work countless hours, making sure that the game is online, making sure that people love it and play it, that designed it. I have sympathy for those people. I don't have sympathy for Ubisoft as a whole, though. They don't deserve my sympathy here. And it sucks that they had to deal with hackers and stuff, but I mean, if you're just going to be anti-gamer, it seems like, and just pro trying to get all the money you can out of people, and pro you don't own your games, then something like this happening and you have to deal with a headache, and you having to possibly deal with them getting some of the infrastructure of all your games or whatnot, then I'm sorry to the heads. I don't care. I don't feel anything for you. Stop seeing your player base just as cash cows and see them who they actually are. As your fan base and people that actually want to play your games. Treat them with respect. I hope for the people's sake that Ubisoft is taking care of their developers and everything. I hope for them that during this it's just held over for them. They're not working tireless hours, but how can they not? It was during a holiday and this happened. How are they not telling them, hey, come in, we need you to come in and deal with this? So that's screwing them over, and I feel extra bad for them if people had to come in that developed the game that continue to work on it, had to come in during the holidays and deal with this crap. And I feel sorry for them, but when it comes to the heads of Ubisoft, like I say again, you don't deserve my sympathy. You really don't. For the fan base, I hope you get to play your game here soon. Rainbow Six Siege is and has been very popular. So I hope they get the connectivity issues done after this to where you can play. I feel bad for the regular players that love the game that now have to deal with connectivity issues because some idiots wanted to hack the game. And there's no winning side here because the people that hacked it are idiots. That's just my 2 cents here. They're idiots that just completely screwed a bunch of players out of now playing the game because Ubisoft now has to fix some of their backdoor stuff from what they messed up. So good job on you, I guess. But did they think that doing all this extra stuff, like giving all these people money and all the rare skins and stuff, did they think that Ubisoft wasn't going to take that back away from players after doing that? No, because they probably didn't care. I have no sympathy for the heads of Ubisoft, but I have no sympathy for the hackers either. I don't think this is a good thing that they did. Their cause seemed more just out of either being trolly or trying to do something for themselves. Just a bad situation in total. And the people that really screws, like I mentioned, again, are the people that work on the game countlessly that had to come in during the holidays probably and fix it. And the players that don't hack and do this crap and just want to play the game that they like. That's all this screws. So, good job. You played a bunch of random people. I don't know if this is good news. I don't know if this is bad news, but it's definitely news that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about. And I think this should be a little bit more. This next bit should be a little bit more talked about in the gaming industry. But I understand why it's probably not. I understand why it's not. So CD Projekt Red has given away ownership of GOG.com and has given it to one of its former co-founders. Game Informer, of all places, was really the only place that I saw this. I haven't seen it on any other website. This is the first place I saw. So Michael Kinkinski, who is a CD Projekt Red and GOG.com co-founder, now has full ownership. He and his brother, according to the article, CD Projekt co-founder Michael Kinkinski acquires GOG.com from Game Informer by Kyle Hilliard. They founded CD Projekt Red in 1994 and then founded GOG in 2008. He resigned, Michael did, in 2010. As kind of one of the leads, but he still remained involved with it. But now he has 100% ownership of GOG. And CD Projekt Red does not. A tweet from CD Projekt Red. I'll read the tweet in full. Big news, CD Projekt has sold 100% of GOG to Michael Kaczynski, one of its original co-founders. For CD Projekt Red, or for CD Projekt, this lets us focus 100% of our energy on what we do best, telling captivating stories through our games and expanding our IPs with new high-quality projects. Rest assured, CDPR games will continue to be available on the platform, and yes, that includes our upcoming titles too. We wish GOG all the best in this new chapter of their journey. I hate how some people don't see GOG or overlook GOG because Steam and Epic are the two big juggernauts and see it as just another unnecessary launcher. I understand not like, a lot of launchers, you want one central one. It's these people that just want one central one, that just want gaming to be just PC. I complain way too much about how I feel like just you want everything in just one particular set. It's not how things work. It's good to have other competition. Again, I don't know, but whatever. But I like GOG because of their thing on DRM. Once you buy the game from their marketplace, you own that game. It's yours. So if you go offline with it, as long as you have it downloaded to your system, you don't need authentication from GOG to play your game. That's great. I like that. Steam, eventually, you still need to authenticate it with their servers. Epic, you definitely have to. And another thing with GOG is that they have older games on there that Steam doesn't even have. Steam has a bunch of games, so absolutely. And they're very user-friendly for games to be put on there, especially for new indie people that want to get on their platform and show off their games. So it's nice that some of these older games that Steam can't get, GOG is getting, and DRM free. So all I will say is that as long as this doesn't change that, because that's the whole thing GOG has going for it. Really. I mean, it's another launcher, yeah. I don't see it any different than Steam or Epic or anything like that, other than Steam has like a full screen mode that Xbox has now. Don't really have a lot of indie games on GOG, so that doesn't help indie developers that much, I guess. But it's just another launcher like the other ones. But the DRM and the older games are the two things that have it going. And as long as those don't change, as long as we continue to see those classic games continue to come to GOG, as long as we still see DRM-free aspects of the games you can buy and download from GOG, then I'm perfectly okay and happy for GOG being owned by one of its former co-founders. And I think I'm going to be extra happy with this for CD Projekt Red. Because think about this. They have owned GOG and CD Projekt Red doing their video games as well through the video game makings of Witcher games, through Cyberpunk, through all these games, and look how good they ended up being. Look how good they were. Eventually, in Cyberpunk's case. The biggest thing is that they came out too early, and that really screwed them, especially for Cyberpunk. Eventually, those games became God-level tier. Witcher 3 still considered one of the best games of all time. Now imagine if they don't have to focus any on GOG now. They even said that their focus can now fully be on the captivating stories that they make. Just imagine what they can do now that none of the focus has to be separated to working on this launcher or working on this marketplace. That's going to help big time. They don't have to focus on digital distribution anymore. They can focus solely on making good games. And maybe, just maybe, some of that focus and some of that work can go extra hard into making sure their games, right off the bat, work. And if that's the case, then this was a great move from both parties. I think CD Projekt Red as a whole has a better chance of this actually working out for them. I don't know the backstory of the co-founders or whatnot that much, admittedly. So I don't know if these guys seem like good fit. Like this seems like a good fit that guy has it now. It's going to keep the DRM stuff going and whatnot. I hope that's the case. I really do. I do see it more as a positive in the future run for Project Red. I just hope that GOG continues to offer the DRM free thing and offer these classic games. Because as soon as it seems like there's going to be an issue with one or the other, whether it be the DRM stuff starts going away or CD Projekt Red's games actually aren't doing any better than what they were, even with GOG for focusing on that, then it's going to come back to this acquisition, this transition of power of GOG to be like, well, was it even worth doing this then? I mean, to Michael Kokinski, yeah, absolutely. He's the owner of GOG now, but it's going to come back to, did this really need to happen? Either or. Did it really make a difference? Or why did this need to happen if they were just going to change it or if nothing's going to change or whatever? Time will tell to see how well this goes. And I will be looking more into this as we go throughout the year. That's a pretty interesting way to finish 2025 and to go into 2026 with a new acquisition. So good job, Michael. You got full ownership of GOG. Also, I just like saying GOG. GOG. All right, I'm done. Let's move on. So yeah, this... I apologize for coughing so much during this episode. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel sick or anything. Just have a frog in my throat. Must be just from it's so early and everything. Just waking up still. So apologies if you're hearing more coughing than normal. But the next one, oh my. You can put this into the saga that we've had going on with the big thing that's been going with this podcast. Not AI related. But Polygon posted an article talking and reflecting on Xbox's 2025 year of chaos. The article itself is called Xbox's 2025 Was Pure Chaos by Ollie Welsh. The brand is in tatters, the console on life support, but the games, plentiful and good. I mean, that sums it up already. Do I need to even go on with the article? The tech giant pursued a gaming strategy that continues to tear up industry norms while looking visionary from some angles and idiotic from others. Its acquisition spree finally started to bear fruit with an unprecedented number of new games at the same time as management instituted a destructive, profit-hungry cash grab that threatened to destroy fan goodwill for good. And amid all this furor, pardon me, the future of Xbox consoles have never looked shakier. Yeah, tell me about it. They go into all the things that happened this year, how Xbox titles came to PlayStation, including Forza, Gears of War, and now this year Halo. Talked about the price increases, talked about the Xbox Ally X, everything going on with Game Pass, everything going on with talking about a new system coming out, how it's not just the tariffs that increase the price, that Xbox increased it themselves again, trying to make Outer Worlds 2 $80 instead of $70, going down the Mario Kart World route. It is a lot. But there also were really good games this year. Ones that they highlighted in particular: Doom the Dark Ages, Gears of War Reloaded, Oblivion Remastered, Grounded 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, The Outer Worlds 2, South of Midnight, new expansions to The Elder Scrolls Online, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. There was good stuff this year. And you kind of forget that games like Doom and Oblivion and even Call of Duty at this point are under the Xbox banner now. They are Xbox owned. They are Microsoft owned. Not only that, they brought up a good point that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 landed on Game Pass day one, which helped get the notice to people about how great this game was. So it's not like Microsoft wasn't involved in the gaming sphere at all this year. They had a really big hit in it. In fact, if you look solely game-wise and take everything out, take out the price increases, take out the new consoles that they're talking about, take out the Rogue Ally X, take all that other stuff out, this is a really good year for Xbox in terms of gaming. They didn't have like a high level A+ like best of all time game, but they had a lot of really good games that ranked probably from like B to A that are solid games people want to play. And they highlighted a game big time that was like that. That was like that A+ level tier. They brought more eyeballs to that by putting it on Game Pass day one. So it's not like Xbox didn't have a huge punch this year, but it was marred by so much other chaos and so many other things that just make you just wonder what the hell they're doing. As a whole, a person who is console gamer first, as I am, and I'll admit it, and a lot of people rolling their eyes listening to that. Oh, God. You're not a PC gamer. Lame. Loser. Shut up. I hate this direction that they're going. And I hate that now it's just going to be Sony and Nintendo in this home console war, which to me it's not even a war anymore. To me, the war is over. Sony and Nintendo are doing their own thing. Sony is lesser doing what Xbox is doing to a much lesser extent, but they've still got their own ecosystem of games and stuff. They're just putting them on PC now. And Nintendo will never put Mario or anything on another system, so just forget that noise. I just think it's lame. I really do. As crazy as as crazy as it is to hear Halo coming to PlayStation, and yeah, just for the novelty of it, I probably will be picking it up. Deep down, I don't want that. Honestly, I want Xbox to do their own thing. But business-wise, I can't say it isn't working. The article even highlights it at one point here. Early on in the article, it says, in October, Bloomberg revealed that Microsoft Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood insisted that the game division hit profit margins of 30%. That's unprecedented. That's what she's insisting, of course. So I can't say it's not working. I don't have to like it, but obviously it doesn't matter what I like. I'll be the first one to say things that I like are not what the majority of people are probably going to like or agree with. So obviously I'm the dumb one here. I just don't care for this. I don't care for it. Personally, I don't care. And I thought about it. If they're focusing so much on getting ready for the next generation of systems already, that's going to be this PC hybrid, or basically PC, maybe it's already time to start dropping support for the Series X and S, excuse me. They already seem not to care. They already are pricing them out the wazoo. I mean, for the best Series X with most space and everything, it's $800. And where RAM is getting so hard to find now and so hard to get, I fully expect sometime this year, very early on, the prices to go up. It's just bound to happen now. So they should just cut their losses, stop producing the Series X and S and X. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that. Just stop producing those and go on and start working on this new PC that you want to build. Why waste your time on this? Just go ahead and complete the transition. Go ahead and start working on your next big thing. Focus more on that little ally that you didn't even build, that you had Rogue do. Just worry about software updates right now. Don't produce any more Series S's and X's. I will say, though, that Steam and Microsoft seem to be making things interesting in the gaming universe. While I don't care for it, it is interesting. But I thought about this the other day, though. They're making these new consoles that are PCs, pretty much, but they're still gaming based, right? I mean, the Xbox One is probably going to have that full screen mode that the Rogue does. So, instead of the console war being over, maybe I talked about a few episodes back that it's probably an evolving of the console war. In terms of maybe this is a new line of competition. Let me try to explain a little bit. Let me try to explain this. So you have the normal consoles, normal home consoles, like how the Genesis and the SNES were a long time ago. Only now it's the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2. Those are the normal standard ones. And maybe one day there will be another one added to the mix. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. There's also regular PCs and stuff, but you have Macs and whatnot, but Macs aren't really gaming computers. In fact, I don't really know what Macs are other than just Apple consumer products. No one really games on Macs. It's interesting. But there's still Macs and PCs. That's another that's another tech war almost. And now there's this PC gaming PC war a brewing between Microsoft and Valve. But they're also not gaming PCs because they're not true big rig $4,000, $5,000 gaming setups that have like jet fueled, water cooled fans to make the computer run better and faster and quieter and less hot. So if they're not true PC gaming, but they are PCs, but they're better than consoles, so they're not home consoles. I mean, obviously they're just going to be PCs, but should there be a new classification for these? Is there now a third option, a third mini war going on to go between the normal home console and the extreme PC gaming world? That's where the Steam machine or the Steam box or whatever you want to call it and the new Xbox are going to fit in. What would we call that? Should we call that something? Or is it just more linked in with PC gaming? We're going to compare it to that because they are PCs, whatnot, blah, 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 and home consoles. I think we should classify it as its own thing. Because like I said, it's not full-on hardcore PC gaming. And it's not minuscule, doing good with what you can afford, best for the normal average person home console that separates it from being a computer and just play video games. It's not that, and it's not an all-around, full-on, you can do everything and anything gaming PC. So what is it? What will we call this? We should think of a name. We should classify it. And with that being said, will there be a new smaller-ish company? And I say smaller-ish. It's not like Nintendo and Sony are small. Don't get me wrong, but will there be a new company that doesn't like go the direction that Valve and Microsoft go and make those? Or in terms of PCs or whatnot, maybe not be like an Acer or an Asus. HP, those are PC brands. Is there going to be like another company go back to the console thing? Atari's actually been making some Android boxes for a while now that's got old school Atari stuff on there. Let's see an Atari return in 2026. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Atari, you got this. Bring it back. Can you imagine a Sony, Nintendo, and Atari-led console war in going into the 2030s? It's going to be some kind of either weird unknown company that's actually been doing a lot of stuff that I just don't know of because I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. Or it's going to be someone that's like well known that you thought never would get into it. Like, is it finally time? Like, could we see Apple finally get into the mix of console gaming now because Xbox is turning more to PCs, and now Apple's like, oh, we might be able to compete with Sony and Nintendo. No, because they have Macs. Probably not. Although that would be rather interesting if Apple all of a sudden went, Or Amazon. Amazon has Luna, their streaming one. Maybe this is their opportunity. Maybe this is where they see like, okay, we can implement our streaming stuff not only with our TVs, but let's just give people the the option of a full-blown home console. And we'll try to compete with Sony and Nintendo now. Of the two, I could see Amazon for sure. I don't think they will, because like I said, I think their cloud-based stuff is what they most worry about in terms of gaming. But you never know. Or heck, those same companies could just look at what Microsoft and Valve are doing and go to that gaming one, and we have a 3-company war between the middle tier of gaming, of PC/console gaming, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. We still need a name. That's going to get confusing to differentiate. Google Stadia 2. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just. All right, let's end this episode on a good note here. Let's talk about some free games you can get if you are a PlayStation Plus Essential member. These games go live this coming Tuesday. As of recording this, that would be January 6th. The free games are Need for Speed Unbound, Epic Mickey Rebrushed, and Core Keeper. I saw Core Keeper, and I swear it felt like a game that I've seen or played before, and I know what it was now that I thought it looked like. It looked like Concrete Jungle at a glance at it, but it is totally not. So I'm interested in that one. A lot of people may not like this month. Particularly for me, I love it. I love it because I've played Unbound. I didn't own it, but I've played through it, and I really enjoy the game. It's not like the old Need, or it's as close to the old Need for Speed games as we're going to get anymore. And it's probably the last Need for Speed we'll get in a long time. I think they've halted Need for Speed games for now, which sucks. But I had fun with it. It did get frustrating at a point. I didn't want to do everything in it like I thought I would, but I had fun with it when I played. So having it just on my account and I can just download it anytime I want, I'm cool with it. And then Epic Mickey Rebrushed, please. I'm a huge fan of platformers like this, but I'm not going to buy this. I don't want to buy a Mickey Mouse game as a 32-year-old man. But I will play it if given to me for free, okay? I'm sorry, that's how my weird brain works of being an adult and also wanting to still play a kid game. I am an oddball, that is for sure. Thank you so much for joining me here today. A struggle of an episode, I do say so myself, with my coughing and my gathering of words and whatnot, more so than I think. I blame it on being off a week, honestly. I really do. I blame it on being off a week. But it's okay. I'm back now. We're going to get back on track with everything, just like with a lot of stuff in my life. After the holidays, get things back on track. Speaking of getting back on track, a new era of STPP starts this Tuesday, coming up, as Druid Dwayne is the new co-host of the show, and he will join us every week now, starting this Tuesday. That is also January 6th. Going to be a very interesting episode, starting off the new year. Just to let you guys know a little bit of a spoiler ahead of time where I'm planning to go with it. I'm letting them go off the rail. I'm going to let Dwayne and Jack just go off the rail. What do I mean by that? What am I talking about? You'll have to find out this Tuesday. I have a lot of stuff I'm working on this year that I want to talk about. That I want to say, that I will say later on this month, because I am working on a video that is going to really go into some of the things that are going to happen this year, that I want to happen this year, that I'm more interested now than ever to do this year. But I will explain that more as the month goes on, let alone the year. But this is looking truly to be a bright 2026. I hope you all are along for the ride. I look forward to it. It's going to be fun no matter what happens. So I'm good for the first episode back. The first episode of 2026. Hope you all have a fantastic year. Hope you all had a good holiday. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, I love your faces. Have a good week.